So about like I guess a day ago, I was actually making a video talking about the characters that I think are going to become cameos in Mortal Kombat 1. But I wake up this morning and then I see, oh, Ed Boon on Twitter had retweeted a tweet saying, "Hey, it's uncanny how many of these characters that you've actually guessed right." And it was somebody guessing which cameo characters were going to be in the game. It gave me like a lot of hope and like happiness because at the very least, three of the characters that I really wanted to be in the game, there's a chance now that they're going to be back because Ed Boon, the director of Mortal Kombat himself, said, "Hey, some of these are actually fucking right." It's like you got a lot of them right, is what he actually said in the tweet. Here's the tweet and here's the image, or I guess just here's the tweet. To look at the characters you have here, you have Chameleon, Tremor, Shadow Priest, Motaro, Moloch, who I was also saying that he was going to be back into it as well, Draman, Husao, Striker, Kung Lao, Devora, Kano, Kuai Liang Sub-Zero, because I believe the Sub-Zero we have now in Mortal Kombat 1 is Bihan because they did like the brought back and go back in time to the first one and erasing the fact that Quan Chi essentially got Sub-Zero to go out and kill most of the Shirai, and then the Shirai, well, Scorpion just comes over and kills Bihan, and then Bihan turns into Noob Saibot. You all know the story. But continuing, of course, you have Sonya, you have Scorpion, Jax, Noob Saibot. I mentioned him previously, so that would again be Bihan, Shinnok, Boraicho, Goro, Mokap, who I actually really want to come back, Shao Kahn, Cassie Cage, Madova, and Farah. That one is interesting. I don't know why this person put Farah instead of Ferrator. That means that now there's a good chance that Farah's going to be in it, but Tor isn't. I think that this is like a really good, really stacked list of characters that we have here, honestly. And if this was the list, I would actually be extremely happy for it to be here. Although, if there was one character that I would add or probably change, I'm not sure who I would change with. Probably Farah. I'll probably change Farah out with Meat, if any of you know Meat or remember Meat from like Armageddon. Well, not necessarily Armageddon. He was in the game before. He was just like a secret character that you can buy, not buy, but unlock. Back then, where you can unlock characters instead of play for them. He's literally just a walking, shambling corpse, and he fights with meat cleavers. So I can kind of see that being something that he, brings in. I'm actually very surprised that this person actually put Mocap in this because Mocap was such an interesting character. Well, not interesting in the fact of like he was in like Mortal Kombat lore or like how Mortal Kombat games are made, they would like have actual characters do out the motions of the fight. That's why back then, like the Mortal Kombat 1, like the original Mortal Kombat 1, the characters in the game actually looked like actual people. Because like all actuality, they were just characters doing like characters. They were like actors, body actors doing different like positions to like do the moves and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting actually when you think about it. Again, this could also mean that Motaro is going to be coming back, which makes me think, are they going to do what they did in Armageddon? I keep bringing up Armageddon because that's where like most of these characters are from. Every character in Mortal Kombat history, almost, has been in Armageddon, like the roster. It has like the biggest Mortal Kombat roster ever. But in Armageddon, they had him not necessarily be like a centaur. He's really a chimera, but like we don't really care about his tail in this equation. But he was essentially a centaur, and Raiden killed him in Mortal Kombat 9 just by like flying into him, like putting him into the ocean. I guess he can't swim. And he was on top of a bridge, and that was sad. But in Armageddon, they took away his horse like body and just gave him goat legs, which is kind of like halving him, and he's like half as good as he used to be, technically speaking. But it would make a lot more sense. He's literally way too big to be on the screen if that was the case. You can't even jump over him unless like he turned around way before. And that I'm thinking about too much, thinking into this a little bit too much. I'm kind of guessing that because Ed Boon had said in like the Summerfest interview that he did, or showcase rather, uh, some of these characters are going to be cameo only, so it's going to be kind of sad to see that some of these characters aren't going to be playable. I mean, I'm not really trying to play with Mocap. I just want to see him come back. Like Shinnok is here. Like in the current storyline of what's happening right now, he's the Elder God of Death, I believe. So it wouldn't technically make sense if he actually made an appearance here because it's just the first tournament. It would make sense for Shao Kahn to appear because, again, he was the one that was going to attack Outworld. It was going to attack Earthrealm. So that kind of makes sense that he would be back and he would be a playable character. That's my logic of going along this line right here. And that's about it. It seems like that they're going to be phasing out the main four from MKX, like the kids that were coming to take the place of the older people. So that means that we're not going to get any more Cassie Cage, no more Takeda, Jacqueline Briggs, or Kung Jin, which is kind of sad to see because I at least like one of those characters. But seeing how this is another reset, of course you're not going to get them unless they get like a big ass time skip. Like after this game, like Mortal Kombat 2 is going to be like set well into the future, like in the MKX storyline or whatever. Who knows? But that's about it for this video. This is the potential roster for Mortal Kombat 1 for at least the cameos. I mean, he did another poll or another thing for uh, the fucking main character list, but Ed Boon didn't say anything about that. So we're just gonna focus on the cameo list. And if you enjoyed this video, then I hope you liked it. And whatever. Do all the things that other YouTubers tell you to do, like fucking subscribe or like it or something. I don't know.